Remember back in the past when a lot of the announcers talked like this? Well, how about some jobs from the 50s that barely exist today? What's up, smarty people? It's KeysDAN, RadioWhat.com, DJLittleRock.com. This is what makes you smarter. The American workforce has transformed dramatically since the 1950s, a decade marked by economic prosperity, suburban expansion, and rapid industrialization. It's likely that folks at the time couldn't have imagined how much the U.S. job market would change over the next few decades, or how quickly innovation would make once common jobs almost obsolete. Careers such as switchboard operator and typist may have seemed stable and essential in the mid-20th century, but time, technology, and changing needs have made them, and many others, all but disappear. Some occupations that once played a vital role in the daily lives of Americans still exist in niche markets, but they're a far cry from their heyday. Here's a few jobs that were popular in the 1950s, but are now nearly extinct. Let's talk about that telephone switchboard operator. Before direct dial telephone systems took over, switchboard operators, most of them women, were the backbone of communication, ensuring calls reached the right destination. In the 1950s, the United States had approximately 342,000 telephone switchboard operators employed by the Bell system and independent telephone companies, plus 1 million operators working in private settings such as offices, factories, hotels, and apartment buildings. It was a demanding job that required quick reflexes and strong customer service skills, as the operators manually connected calls by plugging and unplugging cords on massive switchboards. By the 1960s and 70s, automated dialing systems and digital telecommunications gradually phased out the need for human operators, making the profession nearly obsolete. In 2023, the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics reported there were approximately 43,800 people working as switchboard operators, including answering service, with most of those jobs being in the medical and travel industries. My father-in-law was just telling me today that he actually applied for this job at one point. Milkman. Having fresh milk delivered to your doorstep was once a common part of American life. The local milkman made daily or weekly rounds, leaving glass bottles on doorsteps and retrieving empty ones. This service was necessary before the widespread adoption of home refrigeration, as fresh dairy products spoiled quickly. In the 1950s, more than half of consumer milk sales came from home delivery services. However, the rise of supermarkets and improved refrigeration technology made milk delivery nearly obsolete. By 1975, home-delivered milk accounted for only about 7% of total milk sales, and by 2005, this number had dwindled to just 0.4%. While some niche companies still offer home delivery today, the classic image of a uniformed milkman carrying a metal crate is now a symbol of a bygone era. How about a job that has its ups and downs? Elevator operator. In the mid-20th century, elevator operators were essential for manually controlling elevators in department stores, office buildings, and hotels. At its peak, the profession employed more than 90,000 workers in the U.S., responsible for operating controls, greeting passengers, and ensuring smooth rides. While automated elevators existed as early as 1900, widespread adoption was slow due to public hesitation. A major shift occurred after a 1945 elevator operator strike in New York City proved self-service elevators were viable. In 1950, only 12.6% of new elevator installations were automated, but this figure surged to more than 90% by 1959. Today, elevator operators are almost non-existent, with the role no longer tracked in labor statistics. In fact, out of 270 occupations listed on the U.S. Census in 1950, elevator operators is the only one that's since been completely automated. However, a few historic buildings, particularly in New York City, still employ operators for nostalgia or specialized service. How about this one? Typist. Secretarial jobs such as stenographers and typists became essential during the Industrial Revolution as businesses generated more paperwork than ever before. By the early 20th century, clerical work was a predominantly female profession, as companies could pay women lower wages for administrative tasks due to the gender discrimination at the time. Secretarial schools provided professional training, allowing many women to enter the field without a full college education. By 1950, secretarial work had become the most common occupation for women, with 1.7 million employed as stenographers, typists, or secretaries, according to census data. However, the introduction of computers, word processing software, and voice recognition technology gradually reduced the need for dedicated typists. While secretarial roles still exist today, the number of workers specifically categorized as word processors and typists declined to 37,200 by 2023. Who was in the AV club in school? How about motion picture projectionist? Motion picture projectionists played a vital role in the movie-going experience in the 1950s, operating and maintaining film projectors in theaters. Their work was labor-intensive, involving tasks such as film changeovers, managing carbon arc lamps, and handling nitrate film, which required a lot of manpower. But the demand for traditional film projectionists dramatically declined with the rise of digital projection technology. By 2013, an estimated 92% of movie theaters in the United States had made the switch to digital projection. In 1950, more than 26,000 people were employed as motion picture projectionists. By 2023, that number had fallen to just 2,610, according to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics. This drastic reduction is largely due to the automation brought about by digital projection, which has replaced the need for manual operation and maintenance of film projectors. Here's one I kind of miss and I haven't seen in many, many years. Gas station attendant. Full-service gas stations were the standard in the 1950s, with attendants providing services such as pumping gas, checking oil levels, cleaning windshields, and inspecting tire pressure. The first self-service gas station in the U.S. opened in 1947 in Los Angeles, but the concept didn't gain widespread acceptance until the 1970s. Several factors contributed to the shift towards self-service stations. Rising labor costs made it more expensive for station owners to employ attendants, prompting many to adopt self-service pumps to reduce expenses. Technological advancements also improved the safety and ease of self-service fueling, increasing consumer acceptance. The 1973 oil crisis, which led to soaring gas prices, further accelerated this transition as both businesses and consumers sought cost-saving measures. Today, New Jersey remains the only state that prohibits drivers from pumping their own gas, maintaining a full-service mandate. Well, what do you think about that? Are there any jobs that you remember that I didn't get on this list? Drop me some comments. Stick around for more. This has been What Makes You Smarter. It's KeysDAN, RadioWhat.com, DJLittleRock.com. Peace. I'm out of here.